Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Rachel's Page Turners. Today is Wednesday, which means it is Top 5 Wednesday. Top 5 Wednesday is a Goodreads group created by the lovely Ginger Reads Lainey, and I'll leave the link to the Goodreads group and to her channel down in the doobly-doo below. This week's topic, your top 5 books you'd read by the fire. It's also known as like holiday or winter recommendations. Number 5 on my list is The Christmas Box by Richard Paul Evans. It's been a long time since I've read this book. I read it in high school, but I thought the overall story was really sweet. The overall story is about this family that happens to be low income and they're struggling to get by, and then the wife sees this ad in the paper, I want to say it's in the paper, about this elderly woman looking for a couple to move in and take care of her. The wife has to convince the husband to, hey, let's do this, and they go in for the interview, and the elderly lady is really sweet, really kind, and she offers them a wing of her house, because she lives in this giant house, in exchange for doing some household chores they would have normally done anyways. They accept the proposition and they move in. And it's during this move-in process that the husband finds this lovely ornate box in the attic. He's storing some of his things from their old home up there, and in this box he sees that there's these letters and he thinks they're love letters, but it actually turns out that these letters are from the elderly lady to someone that she once lost, and you just find out about her story, and it's really heartbreaking. There is a lot of grief, but through this story you learn the true meaning of Christmas, which is to just take the time to spend with your family. As much as I liked the story, there was a couple things that I found particularly cheesy about it. For example, after the husband finds this box, he puts it away, and that night he dreams about a stone angel, which is later revealed to be the headstone of the person that the old woman has lost. That part was completely unnecessary. It didn't need to be in it. But other than that, I thought it was a great story. Reading a classic by the fire is one of my favorite things to do, and of course it has to be a Christmas classic, which is number 4 on my list, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. If you're not familiar with the story, which I'd be very surprised if you didn't, the story is about this old miserly man named Ebenezer Scrooge, and he has lost the meaning of Christmas along the way. On Christmas Eve, he is visited by his old partner, Jacob Marley, and Jacob Marley warns him that the 3 spirits of Christmas will come to visit him: Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas future. And it is through these visits that Ebenezer Scrooge has a change of heart and he learns to change his ways. The 3rd book on my list is another book that I absolutely love to read during the holidays, and it is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. The story is about these 4 brothers and sisters, Lucy, Edmund, Peter, and Susan. The timeline takes place during World War II, so these brothers and sisters are sent off to the country so they can escape the bombs in London. While they're staying in this estate, Lucy comes across this wardrobe, and she goes through the wardrobe and she finds the land of Narnia. A land that is always winter, but never Christmas. And this land is like this because of this evil witch. Soon after Lucy's first visit to Narnia, the rest of her siblings come over and visit, and it's through their adventures that they bring Narnia back to rights. I absolutely loved this story when I first read it. It was actually one of the first fantasy books that I read, and now fantasy is my favorite genre, but it's nice to think that this book was my gateway to this beautiful world of fantasy. Number 2 on my list is The Polar Express, written by Chris Van Allsburg. I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's a children's picture book. I remember reading this as a kid. And the general story is about this boy who, on Christmas Eve, hears a train going through his neighborhood, and he goes out to investigate because he's really confused by this. I mean, I would be too. And he discovers that this train goes to the North Pole, so he hops on and goes to visit Santa Claus, where he receives the first gift of Christmas. It's a nice, short, easy read. and it's so magical, so whimsical. I love this story. I make sure to at least watch the movie every year. And even now at my age, if there's a train going through my neighborhood that, we're going to the North Pole, you can bet your britches I am jumping on that train. And number 1 on my list, it is The Gift of the Magi, written by O. Henry, which is actually the pen name for William Sidney Porter. And the story is about this young couple. They're recently married, I believe. I always forget this small detail, but they're low income, they're like struggling with money, but they both really want to get their partner a really thoughtful, beautiful Christmas gift. Now, neither of them have the money to do so, and so they both sacrifice something very precious to them to make sure that they are able to get this present. And I thought that is really sweet. I remember first hearing the story as a child, and I actually watched this like little short in class, and I thought the animation was absolutely beautiful. I, of course, don't remember who did it or when it was released, but I still have like almost like photographic memory of it. And I just thought the overall message was really, really sweet. They're both willing to sacrifice so much for the person that they love. And what's even better about it is that they both feel that way. It's not just one person. So that is my top 5 Wednesday video for this week. These are just some of the holiday reads that I absolutely love. I had like a giant list for this topic, and I really had a struggle like which ones to add. And for example, I almost added the Adventures of the Christmas Pudding by Agatha Christie in this list. Another great book. This is just an awesome topic. Reading by the fire with hot chocolate, or like a nice cup of hot tea, and outside is like chilly and snow is falling. That is basically my perfect evening. And right now I am super disappointed that it hasn't started snowing yet. I'm in New England and it's barely under 50. But I digress. What are some of your favorite holiday reads? Please feel free to talk about it down in the comments below. And as always, if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. I would love to see you in the next video. Bye guys!